welcome to the Lifting Show of March 14th, 2017. I am Joanna Michaels, and I am here with my joyful co-host, Christopher Stephen Jacobs. And we feel blessed again tonight to have Chris's mom, Katrina Schaaf, join us as well. We also thank you for joining us tonight live and in the future. I hope you have visited our website and have read our weekly blog. If not, you can go to our website at thelifting2017.wixsite.com/thelifting and catch up with everything. So tonight's show is the end result of all the shows to this point. So far, we have talked about being authentic, about having protection, learning discernment, knowing thyself, the learning infrastructure that we are in right now, the rules of engagement, changes and anti-changers, love, hardship, abundance, and joy, all leading to the most important conversation of all. Do you have the courage to walk a new path? And we mean you, not others, but you. Are you ready to accept that you can only change this world by changing yourself, raising your frequency? Do you possess the courage to admit that maybe we need to deny the known and truly manifest differently, ourselves, not anyone else? It is so easy to deflect and say others need to change, and maybe that is true, but they have to walk their path, and it's only theirs to walk. This is all about us taking responsibility for ourselves, seeing who you really are and the role you play in your own life, and how your path is sacred. And maybe you haven't, but you need to honor yourself. So before we go any further, Chris, can you offer a blessing to the audience and to this discussion?
Yes. This one is from Volstagg. That would be, for people who were listening last time, that is Michael's grandfather. May all have the courage not to fight all processes, and may all have the courage to put down the sword when needed. Fight not all things. Volstagg.
Okay, so thank you, Volstagg. That was very nice. So, Chris, why don't you go ahead and start off tonight's discussion about courage?
All right. I believe I will. What is courage to you? Courage to me is seeing myself for what I truly am. Courage is being my authentic self in the midst of overwhelming opposition by not only common everyday detractors, but from one's very own family. And I'm not talking about mine. Not necessarily mine. I repeated myself, sorry. But we don't get into that just yet. Courage is walking through the hottest fire to get to the cool stream beyond. And courage is suffering the worst pain imaginable, suffering the worst fools imaginable, and suffering the worst oppressions imaginable, and still coming out on top. Courage is also how to ignore said oppression and not feed the darkness, its so-called do. We all have the yin and the yang, but do we truly need the overage of crap that we see, smell, and hear on almost an hourly basis? I say no, we do not. Live in your heart space, think, but do not overthink, and most importantly, have the courage to be you and to live in joy and balance. We are already balanced, we just need to maintain it. Years ago, I went through the worst pain of my life. I suffered pain, both emotional and physical. Until now, I did not know why all of the events I went through happened, and certainly did not know that I could undo them. At any time, I was not only loaded with attachments, drawing all manner of junk to me, but loaded up with dimensional entanglements, as well as surrounded by oppressive entities making me and people around me very angry and bitter. A lot of time was wasted on these feelings and thoughts. A lot of energy was spent by all thinking about what never needed to be thought about. I was one it was one thing after another for 3 years straight. A phone call after abusive phone call, night and day visions of all that fueled the madness. Then a space cleared for me and I was able to start my true path up again. Soon after realizing that all I went through was not fate, not destiny, but a mixture of lesson and overage. I then found the courage to move forward and ignore all outside signals as I continued down the path to soul retrieval and dimensional balance. It took another full year to do so, but then my abilities grew and I found a much larger array of information than I had previously known about. It only continued from there, and now today I am doing the sessions and reads that I do. I am still, however, learning more and more with each good and bad encounter. Have the courage, all of you, to know that what is a test by your guides and what is an overage. Have the courage to pass the test and set right what does not belong in your lives. Mom, do you have any thoughts on courage at this moment?
Yeah, Chris. Hello, everyone. I had a lot of things come through about courage, and because almost everything we do revolves around it. But what is courage? To me, it is the ability to do something that is not familiar and helps to expand your horizons. It is stepping out of your comfort zone and daring to do the things you dream about without the fear of danger. It is being brave. It's standing up for what is right, being gallant, and it can be a form of personal heroism. Courage is a word that encompasses many facets of our life and is usually behind everything we choose to do or desire to do. We have to be courageous to live through the trials and tests we are faced with daily. Whether we are facing the unknown and having to be brave enough just to get through the day, courage is the driving force. Every day we wake up, we face the unknown. Each day, for most of us, we are figuring out what we need to do about a certain situation that is happening in our life. How we deal with the news of what has happened in this world, and sometimes we need to be courageous just to get out of bed and survive the day. Life is scary sometimes. Every day brings a new issue, a new adventure, or a new challenge, and we never know what we will face once we get out of bed and into our life. I feel that everyone that is listening to us right now is dealing with and having to face their beliefs. We are doing our best to learn who we really are and what the truth really is in our world and the many worlds around us. We are facing ideas that differ from what we were taught all our lives and trying to understand how these new ideas fit into our own personal belief system. Becoming your authentic self, which includes dealing with new and unknown facts and facing an unknown as real, that takes strong energy of courage. Becoming your authentic self and realizing you are a multifaceted being with many different beliefs that need to be sorted out and looked at as real or not real is something we have to do every day. When we find our true beliefs, life can be very difficult. When our beliefs are completely different from the norm of our family and friends, it takes moral courage to stand up for these beliefs and own them. Moral courage is the ability to act in an evolved manner no matter what the opinion of others are. You will find as you search on this path that many friends and family will not follow you. They will not only not follow you, but they can show disrespect for your beliefs. In some cases, they will walk away from you altogether. We have to always remember that not everyone will have our back. That is when you decide whether or not you really need their support or not need them in your life. If everyone would just respect each other for where they are on their life's path and not feel they have to change you or convert you, life and seeking the real truth would be much easier. When you know what you believe and you know what is your truth, you have to be brave enough to walk and talk these truths. It can be extremely hard when you are alone in your truth. It can be lonely and make you want to hide what you believe. Please be brave. Only you know what is real to you, and everyone else has to do the same thing. Facing the future and living in the now is another trial we face all the time. What does the future hold for me? Where will I be in 10 years? Will I have true love, or will I always be alone? Do I really have the right answer on what I believe? These are just a few things we think about when we think about our future. As we are facing these questions and living in the now, we are also dealing with the adversity around us. We see injustice and many things we feel are wrong, and we feel we cannot make a difference. Being who you really are and following what you know as your own truth does make a difference in the world around you. Your attitude and love you send out to the universe really can change the world. You need to stay strong and be yourself and create the future as you want it to be. If you put something out to the universe with passion and high love energy, you not only change your life, but you change the others that are following you. You have to be an example of someone that, no matter what life throws at you, you remain firm in what you believe and how you live your life. Even if someone does not believe in you, if you set a good example and live your life well, most will eventually respect you for what you believe and who you really are. Courage comes in the form of strength when we are faced with bad health, pain, and grief. We are really tested on our faith when we are dealing with health issues and or the loss of someone we love. At that time, we worry about what we believe about death. We have a hard time dealing with life and our belief system while living, but with death, we start questioning exactly what we believe. We say we know we live forever, but where is that? And where does that person or pet really go to? We know our souls are forever somewhere, but the unknowing of where can make us question our own truth. I personally believe there's some things that we're not really allowed to know in complete detail. Some mysteries are left to us to find out when we cross over. Questions about life and death that are not answered completely for us are the things that take real courage to live through. For some people, courage is in the form of emotions and words. It is hard for some people to say, I forgive you, to say, I'm sorry. And with some people, it takes great strength to say, I love you. This is when you have to take a step up and be vulnerable and let yourself say and do the things that resolve issues in your life. When you do say these things or put yourself in a situation that could hurt you, you may not get the answer or the resolution you want, but at least you took that loving, courageous step. If being kind and loving is who you really are, then even if the situation did not work out, you know that you did the right thing. Anything done out of love and respect, it can never be the wrong thing to do. There are so many ways to be courageous, and many more than what is talked about tonight. We each have our own personal fears and issues that take our own bravery to face. Sometimes even the smallest issues take all the strength we have. Being true to yourself and evolving each day into the person that you are proud of, no matter what anyone else thinks, is the way we evolve into spiritual beings. I found a quote from Steve Jobs regarding courage, and I liked what he said. He said, and most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Please follow your heart and have the courage to live it on your terms. I wish everyone many blessings. Thank you for listening. Chris?
Yes, that was very good. Joanna, what's your take on this subject?
Well, I reflect back and think of a few areas where courage is really needed in this day and time. For me, I guess I can't stress enough how we have been subjected to programming to comply in so many areas. I know the blog brought up how news shows and other medias do what they can to direct our thoughts and behaviors. In a sense, I think of them as one big marketing machine that really knows how to control behavior. And all of us, we all bought into it. And you know why? Because they're actually very, very, very smart. Most of you all agree with this, what I'm saying. But do you have the courage to admit that you have fallen for it too? Can you believe that the darkness infiltrated both sides of any discussion to just keep you distracted in that discussion? It does not matter the subject. It could be politics. Both the Democrats and Republicans are just different halves of the same coin. They both facilitate separation and not unity. Rich versus poor, have versus have not, fair versus unfair. It's all they promote. And we are complicit because we continue the conversation, lending our energies to these discussions. So they just will keep rolling along. And it's with the monetary questions as well. I think the guys have tried to make it pretty clear that you don't realize that as you consistently wander and wish and think about and dwell on, you are lending your energies to that conversation still continuing. And it just keeps rolling and rolling. Because the key is to take your energies away from that and then to put it into an area you want to co-create, which is your dreams and your hopes of how it hopes and feels when things are well, when you feel abundance. That's what's been being stressed, to stop lending energies to it. And then we need to admit just the biological aspect of how all this affects us. When we get nervous or excited, our adrenal glands push out adrenaline because the nervous or anxious state sets off the flight or fight response that's in all of us. That's a primal survival state and an automatic response. They, meaning the darkness, they know this and they use it to their advantage because there is going to be no growing going on while you are in this state of flight or fight. Zero growth really happens there. It's just all about basic survival. Threats and survival, no more calmness to be able to ponder the world and see what is actually happening, just threats and survival. And they know that people can get hooked on their own adrenaline, wanting to live in this hyper-excited state, although it is not good for the body long term. The body is not maintaining balance in this state. Blood pressure rises, blood vessels dilate to the areas where an increase in blood supply is needed to either fight or flight, meaning your large muscles, your heart, your vision, etc. And blood flow is constricted to other areas of the body deemed not important at that time, such as digestion, which we need when we want to provide our body with nutrients, and higher thinking areas. They are deprived of blood at that time. Our bodies in general are meant to perform within certain parameters, and if we are all driving our bodies to function outside of those parameters for long periods of time, well, we open ourselves up to not functioning correctly, and I mean getting sick. And believe me, they know this. And we have all fallen for it at times. Some of the topics where people live in that hyper-excited state are talking about, like I said, monies in the banking system and the big bang of the New Age idea that things are going to instantaneously change. Stand back and look at all the hyper-excited people in these arenas. And believe me, it is hard not to get caught up in the whirlwind of it all. I am not judging people here. I just want to point out the hyper-excited state many are in, and in my opinion, by design, and it is not of our highest good. So we all now have to be courageous to see the truth. Do you have the courage to admit that maybe you are an adrenaline junkie, brought about by all of the media hype on different subjects, plus an array of toxins we ingest? And if you are left alone in what should be a peaceful moment, maybe you just can't handle it. Do you feel lost or abandoned in some way? All by design, I can assure you of that. And they really say they did a good job, because for some, do you have the courage to admit that maybe you don't want to be in your own company because you don't even know who you are and that frightens you? Does any of this resonate with any of you out there? Well, if it does, let me just say that you are not alone. And again, getting you to this state was all by design. My understanding is that these things will stop, all of this, when we stop giving our energies to them. This is no different than the bully who keeps bullying because of the attention they receive. Once really ignored, well, the bully goes away. We have all been guilty of giving our energies away to things not good for us, be it philosophies, people, or by deceit. And we have no right to talk other person's energies or behavior if we don't have our own under check. Now, do we? And this is where we have to be courageous to admit this, that yes, we are complicit to what's going on. We are not just a victim. If you believe in the saying, peace, love, family, all else is noise, what does that truly mean? How do we provide this for ourselves? How do we grow past toxic energies and the giving away of our own energies so that we have enough left to learn how to co-create a better world? Well, I think we first have to step back and see things for how they really are. Then be willing to start from scratch again, which boils down to the saying, deny the known and manifest differently. Do we have the courage to do this? And that's my thoughts, Chris. What do you think the Galactics have to say?
There are several of them in here this evening. This is very interesting because there is a group in here that I have not heard from in an extremely long time. And there is a couple newcomers here. One I don't recognize, one I do. So we'll go into who wants to go first here. See who actually sticks their hand up here. Okay. Joanna will be surprised that this group is actually here. So was I. So I believe it's the Council of Saturn that wants to talk this evening. So I'm going to, they are from a future time continuum where Saturn is more of an Earth-like inhabitable planet. And they essentially run the outer solar system in that time continuum. And in this one, they communicate with the Agarthans quite often. The version of Saturn in this time continuum isn't all that great, but the one in theirs is. And they have brought with them a man that I first was introduced to me to the Council of Saturn. He looks to be Native American. He's of Chawanda species, I believe, but he's a different name and in a different time continuum. His name is Bruni, and he came with the Council of Saturn. And so we'll see. Who wants to represent the Council of Saturn? I can't channel every single one of you. Okay. Okay. Bruni wants to actually go first here. So, let me see. Give him a minute. Greetings, all of you. My name is Brunei, and I represent the Council of Saturn, also my own people, the people you would know as the ancient Mayans. Though I am from a different parallel timeline, as you humans would say, my race and I still communicate quite heavily. My history is wrought with pitfalls, unfortunately. My people were quite oppressed by the ones you call the Draco and a couple of others. But in that time of very, very little hope, there was indeed courage. There were those that actually stood up for the correct vibration, those that stood up and said, no, we will not be this way. They believed in the contrast. They believed in the mirror. They believed that they did not have to be the way things were seen, smelled, heard, or felt. They believed that there was a different way, other than what their progenitors had become and what their oppressors had shown everyone around the many worlds that my people inhabited. Well, I have come here today not just to gloat, as it were, about our very, very fortunate and not so fortunate times, but I wish to say this. The courage that we, my people, exhibited in those time frames, I wish all of you to exhibit now. Not in a militaristic sense. No. Not in a dark and bloody revolution against those you call the cabal. No. I am talking about raising your vibrational constant. Live in joy. Live in happiness. Live as your true self. Be protected. Live in discernment. All of those things that have been spoken of here. All of those things and more. We can help you with this, my brothers and sisters of Earth. We and the council that I speak for, the Council of Saturn. Yes, you have heard nightmare stories about Saturn, and yes, all of them are true. The Saturn of this time frame, the Saturn of theirs, is a utopia, wrought with beauty and wonders, the likes of which Earthers have never seen before. Saturn has very little rings in that time frame, because the rings that exist now in this time frame are made up of frozen chunks of harvester nanites, but we will not get into that right now. In the time frame in which I reside, along with the Council of Saturn, it is a beauty to behold, but I am not saying focus on this for the future. No, I am saying focus on your present. Take what I have just said in this description of the planet. Take this description with you. The beauty that is there is more reminiscent of your mythologies surrounding your Garden of Eden, because these mythologies are more like than humans would ever want to admit currently. Though I will leave that little historical note by itself right now, I must say that please focus on your present moment. Have the courage to continue in whatever path makes you happy. Do not concern yourself with the worries of others. Do not concern yourself with the violence that goes on in your day-to-day lives at other parts of the world. Show the poor people compassion, yes, but do not send your energy and essence into those events. Therefore, you entangle in them and bring them back home with you. See, you have greater abilities than you know, and focusing on those events will cause you to entangle in things that are not your own, events that are not your own, and people that are not you. Yes, you are all one, this is true, but this does not mean that you entangle yourself in someone else's problems, bringing those back to your very own doorstep. This is something my very own people had to learn at one time as well in dealing with the Draco and various other beings. But now, these various other beings leave us alone because they know that we will not entangle in their dramas and the dramas that they conjure up for other people. This is what I have come to say this evening. Blessings to all of you, and I will pass this now on to a member of the Council of Saturn. Greetings, all of you, this evening. I represent the Council of Saturn. We exist outside of your normal space and time. We are of Saturn, yes. We have created a utopia on our world that reflects our current level of enlightenment, as you humans would say. Yes, we do have human in us, and we have various other races within us. We are an amalgam of species that now exist in what you would dub as the future times. My council and I, the Saturn Council, that are of one voice, now say that we do govern the system in the time frame in which we reside. However, we also help govern the system in this time as shattered as it is in your current time continuum. We have to watch, sometimes helplessly, as bad things do happen to good people. Yes, we do hear the prayers of such good people. We hear them on a regular basis. And we also hear the, as you would say, boos and detractions of other people that think we are not actually doing a job that we never had a job position with to begin with. This means your people must show courage in the face of all adversities and all things dark. We are not there to sweep these things under the rug. We are not there to take your lessons away from you, and we are simply not there to do your job for you. We got to the place we were, dear ancestors, because you got to that place all on your very own. We are your descendants, technically. We are your progeny. We are the result of many, many thousands and thousands of years of your people toiling in the mud, the dirt, the sweat, and the blood. We are that voice now that reflects back at our dear ancestors and smiles back at our dear ancestors. We are not the boogeymen that exist in the dark night. We are as we are, and we smile at each and every one of you. We are Saturn. We are that voice in the dark of space. We are the voice of the future, the present, and the past, all rolled into one. Thank you. All right, that was an interesting one. That group has not come through for us in quite a long, long time. So there are several others here, but I have to get a drink. Give me just a second. Anybody that channels will know very quickly you get severe cotton mouth. So let me see here. Let's see who else wants to come forward. Haha. Who is this that I'm looking at? No. Oh, no, you're over this way now. Okay. Aha. I met this being today, as a matter of fact. He's a very kind being. He was in someone's read who I just posted moments before the show began. This person let me post this because this read actually was very, very good. On past interviews and shows and on other shows, people have known me to mention a group called the White Knights of Aether. They were at one point the epitome of what was known as courage in the day. They were also the Arthur and his knights. And Michael has pretty much said that the courage of the hero's quest was a mistake because it promoted one side versus the other. He said this was a mistake that he made then when he was trying to correct another mistake he believed he made. I'm not going to go into that without Michael present, but I will go into a part I did not know had taken place. Outside the illusion within the backstage, I was one of these, and other friends were some of these. And other people that I've run into were members of this group. And they're basically a split off of the Cabal, the light side of it, a group of knights that stole time travel technology and tried to correct wrongs, etc., etc. Well, I thought they had all gone, that group had completely gone extinct. I thought they were dead and gone 1,000 years ago. Well, I was actually mistaken, because this gentleman that I met today, the guide of this woman that I read, his name is Viman. And I noticed when he came forward, he was channeling through me using technology, and he was sitting in the middle of a vortex inside of a very familiar looking piece of technology, a ship. And I noticed on his chest was the familiar insignia of the White Knights, which is an upside-down trident with the laurel leaf wings on the side with a star pattern behind it. And he was wearing bright white armor. And I asked him if that was the organization he used to be a part of when it was around. He said, was around? He goes, my friend, we never went anywhere. You did. And then I came to discover the organization is still alive and kicking, but their core mission statement has changed to one of helping the vibration raise by sending changers, the people we called changers, into the grand illusion. Not to take the illusion down by force like the original set of them were trying to do, to take down the illusion machine, it was known as, but to actually take it down by changing the vibration, and not take things down in a mighty, glorified hero's quest. So I'm going to see if he wants to actually come through now. And, okay, yeah, he was very excited when I asked him about this morning, because he recognized me, he recognized other friends of mine. So I'm going to see if he wants to come through yet. All right, he's being a little slow at the moment. Okay. My friends, my name, dear ones, is Viman, and I am of an organization that this one was thought long since extinct. The White Knights of Aether, as you know us as to this day, seeks to have changers enter the grand illusion. Our last mission, of course, was that to bring down the illusion. Those were our last orders on behalf of our founder, the one you would know of as Michael, or Archangel Michael, as some have come to call him. Our organization, knowing that last order, changed over a period of time. We began to take that last order as more or less a guideline, but not by force. Our dear founder eventually came to us and explained how wrong he had been by initiating such a forceful boast as to take down the grand illusion with military might. So he gave us a new edict, as it were, a new purpose. He retooled the organization in order to bring about change in the darkest of hours. This change would be the change of vibration, or universal constant, bringing in the constant of change over a period of time. Our final order still stands: bring down the illusion. However, we will never bring it down by military might, nor do we ever plan to invade your world in a coup, as it were, to bring down the Cabal in military might. No, this is simply not the way to do things. To do so would not be courageous at all. It would be foolhardy and stupid. So, in this instance, I will say that true courage is knowing oneself, knowing when to put down the sword, but only pick it up in times of defense. putting down the sword of violence, picking up the shield of protection, and picking up the pen of creativity, as it would be. Creativity, my friends, along with love, kindness, balance, protection, discernment, and all things good and balanced, will win the day. This is not to say that there isn't such a thing as a hero's quest. No, quite the opposite, in fact. Our final order still stands. Our final quest of the day still stands. We send people into the illusion on almost a daily basis because of the fact that change is so badly needed on your world, but it must be done from within. I myself would never come to your world in the guise of military might. No, I would never come to your world in such a fashion. I would come to your world as a friend, a brother, as an ally. I would defend this world until the last breath, yes, but I will never bear my sword towards any of our people, even those that bear the mark of the symbol you call the swastika. No, I will not do such a thing, because I know your planet has the means to unify, has the means to shake its own hand, as it were. Your cabal and your ordinary citizen have the means to sit at the same table with one another, break bread with one another, and make peace with one another. It has been done many times in your history when people have come to the epiphany that peace is more preferable than war. Do you truly have the courage in your hearts to lay down your guns and lay down your swords and shake hands with your brothers? This conflict has been going on a lot longer than you think that it has, dear ones. This temporal war of attrition has been going on a lot longer in your histories. Now, do the Cabal have this time travel technology still at their hands? No, not at all. We commandeered it ages ago from them, so you do not need to worry, dear brothers and sisters. Any rumors that you hear that the Cabal now has a fully functional Montauk project again is simply false. We obtained fully the technology and do not distribute it to anyone. And I do mean anyone, even friend or foe alike. Earthers, humans, must earn this level of technological prowess, as you would say. They must earn the right to actually obtain this high level of advanced technology. We do not see always individuals. We see societies. We see people upon people upon people. We see all the faces as one. We do not dice you up into small groups and organizations. No, no, no. We see you as one thriving civilization. Just because you have one pesky little group in the way does not mean the rest of you cannot stand out in the sunlight together. This does not mean that you cannot aim that good energy at this one small organization. No, 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 dear ones. This does not mean you cannot do that at all. And this does not mean that you cannot walk with your brothers and sisters in the sunlight. No, this is something that we cannot risk at this time, giving this high level of technology and high level of capability to a people that believe they are shattered. No, you are far more courageous than you believe that you are. You are not a shattered, broken people. You are a courageous, unified front. You are individuals. You are one. You are everything. You are creation itself. This is something your people will learn in the not-too-distant future. Then my people and my organization will be there standing beside you on the shores, in the forests, in the cities, and in the deserts. So, look forward to these times, dear one, but live always for the present. Thank you. All right. He had to cut off there a little bit because his transmission was starting to buckle a little bit. He's transmitting from within some kind of vortex where his vessel is sitting at this moment. So I will see if anybody wants to speak. Oh, who's waving their hand at me right now? Let's see. Let's see. Don't recognize this individual that's approaching me. Is this somebody who has spoken before on this show? Oh, no, he does not wish to speak. He's coming in to protect here. So, okay. Let me see here. Then I will actually close that channeling circle. They're telling me basically I have to close that channeling circle each and every time I end a channeling session. And I didn't recognize him at first because my third eye is kind of tired at the moment. But this is Relento. Oh, hello. Okay. I didn't recognize him at first. He was kind of fuzzy. Okay. And he was basically reminding me to say there must be an opening to the circle and there must be a closing. So I officially, with light and balance, close this channeling session. So I will move on to taking questions from the listening audience. So I will scroll down to the Q&A queue. So anyone that wishes to ask a question, all they have to do is hit *6, and when prompted, dial 1. All right, I see someone is in the queue here, so I will unmute you. Welcome to the lifting.
Chris. Jim.
Oh, hello, Jim. How are you this evening?
Very, very well. Another excellent show with everybody. So my question basically just kind of hit me is I was kind of laughing to myself thinking about as a young man, 13, 14, playing football and whatnot, all the bravado that we had, the courage that we had, or we thought we had, it's kind of funny. It made me think about the youth of the higher galactics. In their youth, if they find some of their young ones getting a little bit too rambunctious in the bravado or courage department, how do they go about correcting them? If that's a question to ask, I'd like to have that answered.
That actually is a very good question, Jim. So let me see who wants to answer that one. It's Simeon. Okay, I always have to look up to see him because he's transmitting from above here. So let's see. Okay, excuse me. Let me see what he has to say here on that. Yes, I already know you're there, Simeon. You don't have to wave your arms back and forth. Okay, he's doing the whole Elmo arm thing at the moment. So I'm going. Okay, yeah. Okay, you don't have to flag me down. I can see you. Okay. Let me see. I'll see what he has to say if he wants to bring it through. Oh, he wants to bring it through. So I'm going to channel this one. Okay, I open this session only for him and him alone. Yes, dear Jim, this is Simeon speaking. I can attest that our young adolescents, as you would say, rambunctious ones, do indeed have their periods of, as you would say, bravado in that respect. All beings tend to go through this stage of, as you would call, ego. However, do we share humanity's, as you would say, form of discipline? Not exactly. We were that way at one time earlier in our evolution. We are not saying humanity is lacking thereof. Quite the opposite, in fact. But we learned long ago that teaching these young, as you would say, rambunctious ones, how to, as you would say, stand up to people and, as you would say, stand up to a bully is not exactly how we do things. Yes, we do stand up to bullies. Yes, we do stand up to anyone trying to invade your world or ours or any of the ones that we protect. However, we do not do it with, as you would say, anger or violence in the heart. Yes, is there some measure of discipline involved? Most definitely. But is there some measure of, as you would say, light-handedness and balance? Yes, there is, because we have our telepathic abilities widely open and our remote viewing abilities widely open. So when one of our adolescents is, as you would say, acting up, the entire collective actually knows about it and actually disciplines them accordingly within the telepathic or psychic field. Therefore, when a teenager, as you would call them, acts up, we just merely withdraw the psychic field and make sure they cannot hear the voices of the collective minds. In this respect, they must actually reflect on the actions they have committed within their own minds. They cannot actually hear the rest of this. This one actually knows what this form of discipline is all about. We enact this on ones who are acting more like children than adults. This is what I have come to say this evening. Thank you.
That's a really cool trick. I actually do that. I did that with my own children by shunning them for a while when they got to be a little bit out of hand. So that's kind of interesting. Thanks, Simeon. That's awesome. Another great show, guys. I'll let you go on to other callers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Okay. Ciao.
Whew. Okay, now I'm closing that particular channeling circle off. All right, let's see. Do we have anyone else that wants to ask a question? Remember, hit *6, and when prompted, dial 1. See. Oh, yeah, we got quite a few callers on tonight. Oh, all right. Here we are. We have a wireless caller in. I cannot see the number.
But, when you hit them, apparently now it tells them to ask their questions, so we don't have to do that anymore.
Oh, all right.
How old is Viman?
Oh, Viman? Let's see. Let me see here. Is he still around? Yes, there he is. All right. I'm going to ask him how old he is, and sometimes the guides are smart asses and say they're either too old or old enough, so I'm going to see, I'll ask him. Okay. Oh, you want to speak, Viman. Okay. I open this circle to him and him alone. Yes, dear one, my current age would be under what you humans would call controversy. Since I do not exist within the illusion, I cannot base it on your current timetable. However, if I were to be locked into what you call your Christian calendar, my age would be somewhere close to roughly 15,000 of your years. This is the closest I can come to my age calculation under your calendar restrictions. Thank you.
Wow. What planet are they on?
What planet is he on? Let me see. He says he's not on a planet at the moment. He's sitting in the middle of some kind of temporal or time rift at the moment. We would call it a portal or a wormhole. And he is actually transmitting using the energies of that rift. And he's bypassing the illusions, detections and safeguards so that he can actually transmit directly to us. That's why he's so clear. Let me see. Yeah, and let me see what planet does he say he's from? He says the translation. There is no translation to English except that he calls it the Gleaming Forest world.
Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for calling in.
Great show.
All right. Let's see here. Who else do we have this evening? Let me see. I'm not seeing anyone else in the Q&A queue. So I'll give it another few minutes, and then I will read the affirmation and blessing. We do have another wireless caller here. Welcome to the lifting.
Hello. Hey, it's
Hello.
Terry from Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice to hear from you again, Terry.
Yeah, I was just wondering if a lot of these galactics spend a lot of time on spaceships, and like how many, if there's a lot of spaceships like close to the Earth that we can't see, like all the time.
Let's see, who wants to actually take this one? Okay, why is everybody in the room raising their hand here? Let's see. Okay. Who actually wants to take it? I can't have all of you come in. Let's see. Okay, I'll pick Vimon again since he's the first one that did it. Okay. It's like having a classroom full of students and they all start raising hands. Okay. Okay, let's see. Vimon, I'll ask him that. Oh, he heard the entire thing. He says they actually spend, excuse me, they actually spend a lot of time on spaceships, but it's nowhere near what we would think of as a long time since they can move faster than the speed of light. They use different methods to travel through space. Sometimes they even move through time itself. So there really is no time to get here and there, but they do spend a lot of time on spaceships. Sometimes these ships hold thousands of people. He's showing me the construct of some of the vessels that are actually in this system, and he says many visitors are in this system, but in different densities, in different timelines, and different time frames. There's thousands of different people that come and go from here, but in different timelines. They would be out of phase with our visual perception, and he's showing me hundreds of different ones that visit this planet all the time, but we do not see them because they're out of phase with our perception points.
Okay, so there's a lot of beings around us that we don't see, like right beside us.
Yeah. Okay. Joanna wants to actually fill the rest of this one in. Okay.
Okay.
So what I wanted to bring up is what they've said before, and again, I don't want to bring up chemtrails, but when chemtrails comes up, they keep saying, we want you guys to look up. We want you guys to look up. So when you're looking up, people are thinking chemtrails, but it's like, no, look up because you're going to start to see other things. And I think I'm asking Simeon to reaffirm this as well, because you're going to start to see things. And so it's nice that you asked, are they all around? Because I think they're going to slowly be letting themselves known. And I want to just bring up the three things that I've seen, because I think I'm going to ask Simeon to confirm this, but some of them you may have already seen and not know what you're seeing. So first off, if you see a cloud, like a dark cloud or whatever, that's in like a geometric shape that you know that a cloud does not normally make, like a perfect triangle, it's not a cloud. Okay,
right.
So when you're looking up, and if you see that, the next thing that that's happened, and we've seen this several times here, Chris, as well, is looking up, and I would always see, and sometimes in the same spot, I would see it's not a rainbow, but it's like a piece of a rainbow. It's like there's a piece of a rainbow. It's see-through and everything, but it's kind of that multicolored. But it's always kind of in the same spot. And what someone finally told us is that these crafts cannot completely make themselves visible, and if they're hit correctly by the sunlight, you will see a shimmer that could resemble a piece of a rainbow. Now you see through it, but I was like, why is this always in the same spot? Why is it there? And then they finally explained it to us. So as you're looking up, you look for things like that. The last thing that occurred weekend before last, and I was just I was so amazed, and we were driving in the car, but Chris was on the phone, and I'm like getting him to look, and he's actually not paying attention. He's shaking his head like, oh, isn't that nice? And I'm like, oh, God, he's on the phone talking, and he's not seeing this. So it was had some dark clouds And this was a large dark cloud. It wasn't raining or anything, but the clouds were coming in. And I'm looking at this cloud, and I am seeing perfectly separated. Think of it as triangular cookie cutter holes that were cut out of the cloud. These triangles were at the equidistant from one another, and they were portholes from a craft. And I knew it when I saw it. I'm sitting here going, oh, my God, and it was huge. And which Simeon did confirm. They did confirm as well. In fact, Simeon said that was him. But so I'm glad the subject actually came up, because I just want to reiterate, and I'm hoping Simeon agrees that this is a good time to bring this in, but that look up, people. Look up and start looking at things and start, wandering and hoping to see things, because they are going to be more and more known. But those are 3 examples. Look at clouds. Do they look different? Look for, like I was saying, like a piece of a rainbow that's not just a piece of, not even, a part of anything that's always seemingly in the same spot, because apparently some of these vessels park themselves the same place all the time. And if the sun hits them right, you'll see the reflection off of it. And so everybody keep looking up.
Right. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, thank you for calling in again, Terry. It was a great question.
All right, thanks. Yep, great
Have a good
show.
night. Mm-hmm, thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone tonight for calling in, and thank you for the compliments, everyone. This has been a fantastic show. We couldn't have gotten it this far without people that wanted to actually hear what we had to say. So thank you, everyone. And this looks to be the end of the show. We're actually stopping on time this time. So I will actually read the affirmation and blessing, and then Joanna, you can read the announcements. But first, I'm going to say all channeling sessions are closed currently. The circles are closed. I will end those with light, love, and balance. No other being may enter through this channeling session, since the circle is now closed. Thank you. I will now read the affirmation and blessing. This one is from Volstagg also. What is courage, you ask? Courage is the reason for little life moments, the season in which they happen, and the ability of one to surpass their current illusion self, breaking out of the shell and becoming their truest, authentic self. Ask yourself, are you truly you? Also, ask yourself, am I being me by asking, or am I being oppressed to ask? Think on this, all of you. Feel always the moment filled with the true you. Volstagg.
That was nice. So thanks again for joining us, and I will just end with just these few announcements. Again, the show will be able to be replayed as soon as it's finished. If you wanted to call the free conference call replay number, that number is 712-775-7039. The participant code you would use would then be 356878, and then you can listen to the last recorded shows. Otherwise, Chris does his very best to get these things posted very, very quickly, and I'm sure this will be up in the next day or so. I hope you, again, keep watching our weekly blog. We'll post a new one every Monday, and I'm going to give you guys a teaser because I'm actually very excited about this one. We really wanted to get through this first series, and now we're going to start talking about many, many other things. And so the first one that we're going to talk about is entitled Free Energy. So, and yes, I am talking those machines. So next week we are going to talk about free energy. So look for that on Monday, and then we'll discuss it more on Tuesday. And then you may reflect and have a bunch of questions. We do a question and answer show. Our next question and answer show is going to be this Thursday, March 16th. If you want to send us some more questions, you can send them to the website. Our email, thelifting2017@gmail.com. We will do what we can to answer all of them. Chris tries to pre-channel as many as he can, and then we, of course, will have the ones that are done live on air. You can schedule a personal reading with Chris or Katrina by going to the website and clicking into the appointment tab. And as a reminder to everyone that they will not go over a 2-hour reading session at one time. So all, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we look forward to chatting with you again on this Thursday, March 16th, for our next Q&A show. And see you then, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.